Hey, so I got an email today, and it was a new Wiccan asking me a bunch of questions. And I started to write back, but it just got so intricate that I decided that the best format might be to put this in video so that other people who might have similar questions can understand. So there's a lot of questions that she's going to go through. Probably I'll do one question in a big series of videos because they're very intricate questions and they're not just easily answered by one or two sentences. So the first question that she asked, and I'm not going to say her name because I haven't asked her permission, is there any ritual or specific action that needs to be done to officially become a Wiccan? Um, and so I, I basically I brought up this list of different types of things. First of all, in traditional oath-bound covens, there's what they call the five-fold kiss ritual. And it's not just oath-bound covens, but that's where it originated from, with the oath-bound coven. So this ritual involves binding the hands and feet, blindfolding, and kisses on 5 points of the body. Those different types of points of where where it would be differ per tradition. Most of the time, it's kisses on the feet, the heads, and sometimes lips and genitals, depending on what tradition you get into. And a lot of times within the oath-bound covenants, this is given by someone of the opposite sex. You can look. I'm going to post a link there for the Llewellyn's Encyclopedia. It has a really good article on it. Solitary kiss ritual. You can also do it that way, where it's just you doing your own ritual. There's a really good version of it Magic TV posted way back in the day. I'm going to post that. You can probably click on the link in this video if you'd like. So there's also, you can also create your own initiation ritual within an eclectic environment, either as part of an eclectic coven or as, for yourself. So I'm going to go through some ritual components that you might want to bring into an eclectic initiation ritual. The first one is what I called it is mark the day. And basically what this means is that you want to make sure that you're doing this ritual on a day that's important to you. This is essentially your Wiccan birthday. So you want to, a lot of people pick a holiday or a full or new moon. Some people will do this on their birthday. It just depends on what's important to you. It doesn't have to be any of those things. If you feel the urge to do your initiation, tonight, well, do it, but make sure that you're ready and you're prepared, and that's what you want to do, of course. The second thing I put down is the rebirth metaphor. And basically, the reason that I'm using metaphors is because metaphors have a psychological and a magical nature to them. They help us get mentally prepared to put an intent out there. And when you're mentally prepared to deliver the right type of energy, then you're going to be a more effective witch. So metaphors are huge in most magical traditions. And so, one of the things that you'll get used to is using metaphors in your own rituals. The rebirth metaphor signifies being reborn as a witch. You are coming into your own. You're coming into a magical tradition that wasn't there for you before. But in the coven sense, you're also being reborn into a family. Regardless if you're in a coven or not, you're being reborn into a family with the gods and with nature. But with a coven especially, you're being reborn into this family. This is your magical family. The binding metaphor, obviously part of the five-fold kiss ritual, signifies the restriction of life without the gods and magic. So the life that you held before you discovered this path, was that of your restricted life. The unbinding symbolizes opening your universe to a larger world with more possibilities where you are in control. When you have your hands free to change things and create a better universe for yourself, then, that is you unbound. It's you at your full potential or striving to your full potential. The blindfolding metaphor signifies obviously being blind to magical energy, being blind to the gods, and to the nature of our universe. Unblindfolding obviously symbolizes you seeing nature in a new way, in a new understanding of yourself and the world around you, and of course the gods. The kiss. This is a part that, some people will, why do I have to get, kissed on my genitals or something like that? You don't have to. And by all means, if there's anything that makes you feel uncomfortable about someone's tradition, then it's probably not the right tradition for you. The kiss is a welcoming thing, though. It welcomes you into the group. It also protects you from harm. And when you do this for yourself, think of it as, your outside self welcoming your inside self into, this new world. Your mental self welcoming your emotional self, so forth and so on. Now, a lot of people, as a part of their initiation ritual, will pick a magical name for themselves. This can be seen as part of the rebirth metaphor as well, because, obviously, when babies are born, they get a name. So there's plenty of ways to pick a magical name, and it's not necessary to have a magical name, but a lot of people have one. So for some people, when they're in a coven, the coven picks your magical name for you. A lot of traditions do this as a way of associating, different degrees and different levels of learning and stuff like that. You'll get different surnames and things like that. Also, a lot of people use numerology or astrology to pick a name. They'll pick a name that has the same, corresponding number to your real name, or corresponding number to a number of your designated god or goddess. And a lot of people will pick something that's out of their astrological chart, like their personal star that they were born under or something like that. And a lot of people just pick a name that has a special meaning to them. For example, god or goddess names. A lot of people will pick names from stories in mythology and stuff like that, like Maeve, or another mythological story or something like that. Like, for example, Oberon Bell, we all know who he is. That name comes from Shakespeare. So, Midsummer Night's Dream. There's a lot of people who pick names for different reasons. There's also famous names of witches or magical people, like Merlin, of course. And a lot of people will pick their name, from something they got from a dream or a trance or a meditation. Now, one of the riskiest forms I've ever seen is people who do it with the first thing that they see. I always found this really interesting because it's kind of a Native American aspect. That's how a lot of Native American tribes will name their children, by the first thing that they see. The problem with this is that, especially if you don't have complete control of your environment, you could end up with a name that's not so great, right? It'd be great if you opened your eyes after being unblindfolded and saw a beautiful flower, and your magical name was Wilting Rose or something like that, or if you looked up and you saw Strong Oak and your name was, Great Oak or something like that. But you could also look up after being unblinded and see a dog taking a crap in the woods. So, there's a bit of chaos there that, unless you want your magical friends to call you, shitting dog, I really would suggest that you probably don't do it that way. Sorry, it's pretty funny. Anyway, a lot of people will designate or announce their patron deities during this time as well. Some people feel the need to announce that. A lot of people believe that they're gods and goddesses. They don't pick them, but the gods and goddesses have picked them instead. So, people will announce them and stuff like that and say, I am dedicating myself to, Athena and Zeus, or whoever your gods happen to be. You don't have to do that. And by all means, also, if you pick gods, those gods are not necessarily your gods for life. They are your gods for that stage of your life. So you might want to keep that in mind too. Anyway, this is almost 10 minutes already. So, look for my next question answering of hers.